Good morning. I'm delighted to be joined by Rachel Freeman this morning, who's the HR Director at GMS Group. Rachel, thank you very much for making time to come and talk to me briefly as we celebrate International Women's Day. Rachel, I know that you've been in the private security industry for around 15 years now, so very experienced in that. Can you just share with us briefly what your career path has been to get you to the role that you occupy today?
Yes, certainly. So I joined GMS 15 years ago in a business development role. At the time, we were sort of a £1.5 million turnover business. We're heading towards 15 million now. So we've had a huge period of change. I was instrumental in winning some of our key contacts that I'm happy to say we still retain today. Always worked very closely with operations and HR because of the size of our business. And in 2015, sort of made a decision that I wanted to head up the HR department. I felt that we'd struggled to get the right person in the role previously. It's quite a challenging industry, so I just wanted to kind of add some of that kind of pragmatic approach to HR. But because I got a really good understanding of the business, I could definitely support the business in their goals moving forward, but also have those kind of people skills so we could support our staff as well, because we knew we were growing as a business. We always wanted to retain that sort of small family business feel when we're communicating with our employees. So it felt like the right time for us as a business and for me as an individual.
Thank you. And I think it is a fact that the majority of roles still across the private security industry tend to be occupied by men. From your perspective, what else can we do to encourage more women to join the industry?
I definitely think how the training's delivered needs to be looked at. We know, obviously, with the additional training now, a door supervisor's course is 6 days. And whilst we fully support the additional training, I think it's fantastic for the industry. It does make it hard for people to actually attend full time for 6 full days when you've got responsibilities at home. And that's the same for male and female. But I think for women, that can really be a real barrier to entry. Once people have got a job, then they can look at how they can sort their childcare. But that initial training, I definitely think could be more accessible to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll take that away and have a look at that. I know from the discussion that we've had that you worked at the Commonwealth Games. Could you tell us a little bit about that and in particular how you see women add value to the big, large scale events such as this?
Yeah, I mean, we were really lucky. We got a lot of women in just for that games because it was really an attractive proposition for them, firstly, and it was in the school holidays, so people were, they could rely on family members a little bit more. So, and the pay was good, so it was a really good opportunity for people to get their training done because we scheduled it so they could do part-time training and get involved. And what we really saw there was sort of women who perhaps hadn't worked in the industry, coming into the industry and really thriving in those positions. So I think women have really high levels of intuition, and I think that really came across when we were, working in those sort of key vulnerable areas. I think women in a male team work really well. I think it really helps with the dynamics of a team. And just to see these people sort of grow and develop was really, really special, actually. People who had never considered the industry absolutely loved working. And whilst we couldn't keep them all, because one of the other issues in the industry, in my opinion, is that it's traditionally 12-hour shifts. And that can be tricky long term for people. I don't think, it'd be great if we could move on to 8-hour shifts and have 3 people, but historically it's difficult, we know that. So it did make it hard for us to retain. We have retained some, but certainly not all. But what we definitely did was make sure that all those people that joined us had some sort of additional training. So we had at least 10 women do a CMI qualification level 3. So it really helped them moving forward as well as they went out into the job market.
Yes, and it's a people industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
And engaging with the public and doing that with many of the skills that women possess is really, really important, isn't it? Thank you for that.
Laughed and said if you've got children, you've absolutely got conflict management skills and you can absolutely de-escalate. But it was also when we were speaking to a lot of job seekers, is making women realise that some of the skills that they have inherently really fit the industry. Because perception, they'd all say, I don't want to work on the doors, and we say, well, luckily we don't do doors. But what women don't understand is the breadth of the role and actually what is involved, and it is predominantly customer service.
Yeah, and it's breaking down those misconceptions, isn't it? So thank you for that. You oversee HR, and obviously in any role, getting support in your job, whether that's mentoring or training, is really important. Can you share with us some of the things that perhaps you've led on or your company's doing to develop women from in those roles, to give them the breadth of opportunity of different roles?
Yeah, so I think what's really key for us is when somebody joins us and joins the industry, is that we really put across in our company induction how important it is to us that everybody can come to work and feel safe. And they know, if we have like a no banter rule at work, which is hard to enforce, but we always say, just because you're not offended doesn't mean others are. We want people to know from the get-go that if there's a problem, tell us and we will deal with it. We don't allow anybody to feel unsafe at work, and I think it's really important that people know that they can report any kind of issues that they may have at work. So we're really keen to get that across from the start of their employment. I think we always offer really good training, and that's really important so people feel competent and confident in their role moving forward. At least 2 days, up to 4 days on some sites, and they kind of buddy up with somebody to give them that support because it's new. And just because you've got your licence, and I felt this when I did the games, here's your licence, I'd never worked frontline, and it's intimidating not knowing what you're doing. So having that training is really important, buddying up with somebody. And I'd say to anybody, make sure you speak to your company to see what they actually can do to support you. So if your circumstances change and you need flexible working or you need parental leave, speak to your company because they will have it in place, and don't be afraid to ask those questions. And then also find out what are the benefits there are. So, most companies are going to have employee benefit programs, so they can help you, with cost of living at the moment. Is there money off on days out? Is there money to be saved on shopping? Kind of really understanding what your company can offer you as well, because a lot of companies offer more than employees realise. We do a lot of work with mental health support for employees as well, and it's really important that people know how to access that. And I think it's just about communicating with your contracts manager and communicating with your HR department as well.
Yeah, so the message, reach out for support, because there's a lot out there, isn't there? Yeah. We're coming to the end of our time, and I've really enjoyed talking to you. But can I just finally ask you, what does International Women's Day mean for you, and what message would you like to leave?
Well, I think it's just such an important day to celebrate achievements of women across all services, industries, just across the board, raise awareness of discrimination and how workplaces can improve to help people and give women the opportunity to thrive. I think what's great about the security industry is there's not really a gender pay gap at the front line. People earn the same money for the site that they're at, and I think that's something we should be proud of as an industry. And I would say to anyone who's thinking, don't discount the industry. Honestly, it's a much better industry for women than you think.
Rachel, thank you so much for that. Thank you for ending on such a positive note. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.